In the top left, in the red, the best German player of all time, winning those championships in Germany like clockwork for mouse sports, is XlorD. And in the bottom right in the yellow, probably the biggest talent in European WarCraft right now, winning hearts and prize money out the wazoo recently from Russia, is JohnnyCage. Let's quickly go over the maps here as well. XlorD banning Echo Isles and Last Refuge, I think that makes a lot of sense. Those also, I think, are the worst maps nowadays for undeads in this matchup. Johnny vetoes Shallow Grave, the new map that he said he doesn't like so much. Concealed Hill, I find a bit surprising, but of course can be rough to creep. We're left with Autumn Leaves, Tidehunters, and Northern Isles. Two of those maps are really good for XlorD, those being Tidehunters and Northern Isles. And it seems like we are starting with that. It was a ghoul build we saw at the beginning for XlorD. Could have been a DK Fast Expo as well, but no. It's the good old Beetle Boy, XlorD, who has become quite rare recently.
Forces are under attack.
Yeah, XlorD played maybe a bit of mind games in the interview, saying that humans have become really adjusted to that XlorD style, and nowadays there is really, or mostly the meta of Death Knight first is what's keeping them in the game. And he's opening with the XlorD here, so maybe a bit of mind games. He did also give me a shout out, and I always knew he was a big fan of me. Every other tweet of his is about me, so on that he was definitely not joking.
Here we see the instant expansion right away. Archmage starts off very well with the Claws of Attack, creeps the first orange into his own natural. As the human, you can counter expand, that's the safe play. You can also try to all in, but that is not very reliable, it seems, most of the time. We're gonna have the counter expansion here coming up for JohnnyCage. Would love to follow up with level 2 here to be aggressive and cancel the expo on the other side. And the double claws is pretty good.
And perhaps triple. The marketplace is very easily accessible, and you have spare cash here when you go for fast expand. So I really wonder if maybe JohnnyCage is gonna grab an extra item, and it lines up so well. See, like the Nightfall is at 18 o'clock, which is in a few seconds, and that's exactly when he's gonna reach this marketplace. He could grab a circlet very easily. There is no additional claw in the marketplace, but you see, like I guess he's forcing a tower here because it's a XlorD and he's a little bit worried about the attack that usually comes onto his peasants. And a ghoul run by actually sneak past his army. So JohnnyCage may be a bit sloppy here, detecting the proper army movement, and he hasn't sent militia in advance either, so he's gonna lose quite a few peasants.
Yeah, this was great movement by XlorD. Most undeads would just keep their whole army together next to the expansion, trying to keep it safe. But XlorD just had one ghoul there and a whole bunch of skellies and beetles protecting the expansion, and the ghouls going for the run by right away. If this tower is cancelled, which it is, there's gonna be a whole bunch of trouble here soon. Impale, surround, does he get him? Yes, he traps the Archmage. Wasn't paying attention for just a second. Oh, and that's it already, boys. 1-0 for the German.
What the hell? That was quicker than a hiccup. 1-0 for XlorD, just like that. We hyped up this game so much, and just after, what does the game time say actually? 4 minutes 25. We got map 1 done.
5 seconds too long.
Okay, Hitman.
Yeah, a little bit surprising, but to be honest, JohnnyCage was in so much trouble here, and sometimes that's what high-level WarCraft comes down to. That little detail, you know, moving out of position a little too early. It's almost like a greedy thing for JohnnyCage, where he took a risk, a voluntary risk. He moved in a position to threaten the expo instead of protecting his 3 ghouls sneak past that puts everything out of position and completely like just in a bad spot. And because of that, he gets surrounded. XlorD was not going to let go of that surround either. It was a town portal. Johnny knows that there is the expo coming up at the same time. He's too far behind. He's like, all right, let's just move on from that game. I'll be more careful for the next one.
Okay, a little bit of a warm-upper, huh? If we look at the tail of the tape between these guys, it's 50-50 down to the last map. Well, not anymore. Even the race stats, man, it's the perfect balance. 67% there, 50% there. Third place in the race ranking on both sides. Unbelievable, but man, what a game. What a game by XlorD.
Yeah, what a first map here to once again put himself on the map after that 0-3 defeat that kind of stunned us all. XlorD here looking good on the first one. That's also perhaps the more risky creep route on this map. Normally when we see humans playing against the Cryptid expansion, what we tend to see is orange into green and then go for the big expansion in the south at the turtles. The good thing there is you get the level 3 right away, and you also get a big consumable item, and then you can power build the expansion and so on. Would you say, Todd, that was just the worst opening, or is that debatable?
I think as long as he scouts a little better, like the first footman that scouts the Cryptid is kind of supposed to stay on him very carefully, and like you see how many ghouls are there. If you see that there's only 4 or 5 ghouls at the expo, it means that there could be ghouls elsewhere coming for your expo. So you kind of have to factor that in. What XlorD said in an interview is true. Like humans started adapting a lot better to Cryptlords. But the thing is, nowadays a lot of people play Death Knight again, so you're not getting nearly as much practice as Cryptlord as many months ago, when you were facing it every single game. So maybe that played a factor as well. JohnnyCage also, like I was watching at his game listing to get warmed up for this. He was laddering and he met Happy 4 times and he got 4 0'd. So he met the DK. He got to think about that. He was probably going into the series thinking he's gonna face a Death Knight, and it's a Cryptlord and he's just not ready.
Not really, no. JohnnyCage looked really, really good on Monday against Happy when these long games happened against the DK, against the Fiends, and then Banshees later on. And I guess he had solutions prepared for that late game style, for the Master Banshee possession play. But XlorD just turns the game on its head and completely dominates game 1, despite the 2 claws. And now JohnnyCage is in a world of trouble. Tidehunters was his map. Northern Isles is now XlorD's home turf, and he could take it home 2-0 just like that, go into the playoffs once again. JohnnyCage has to step up his game and reset his mind and do it all again. Map 2, here we go.
And I think you were smack on the money, Todd. The mind games continue. Because, well, the Cryptlord doesn't seem to be so bad after all. Once again, we have a ghoul build with, I assume, a Cryptlord? Yes, it is. Northern Isles also a really good map for it. You have 2 corpses, or 2 critters, I guess that is, on the way to the expansion, and you get level 2 right away for creeping it. Doesn't quite find the second critter, but that should be okay. Standard build by JohnnyCage, and the general rule of thumb is if there's no Merc camp on the map, the Cryptlord is playable. If there's a Merc camp for the human, it gets a lot harder, but yeah, no Merc camp here.
Yeah, I think XlorD also plays the Cryptlord a little different than most other undeads in that he still does the thing that the other Mousesports undeads, Ante and 1 do, where he usually gets a fairly quick graveyard, second crypt, and then goes quickly into Fiends, but he doesn't waste his ghouls. He doesn't over-brawl with his ghouls. He keeps them alive, and once he has Frenzy, he likes to hit at timing with 60 supply, sometimes 70, which is really hard to hold because you have to face Fiends, but you also have to face Ghoul Frenzy. There is statues in there is Orb in the Lich as well already. And it's just very unconventional, right? Most undeads, they would wait until they have 80 supply, they have Destroyers, Banshees, all of that. Not XlorD, trying to threaten the steal. Ooh, that was close. He almost got that with the Acolyte here.
Oh, he gets the footy. Whew, almost a run. That would have been so bad. You can't allow this one. Johnny was looking at his own side for creeping here for a moment. With that opening, creeping the Tuskar camp, you have a couple of options. Fall back and just expand like he's doing here. He could have also been aggressive on level 2, or creep green into lab and then get level 3 and then be aggressive with that. But Johnny chooses the most passive of options, goes back to creep on his side, and is once again gonna go into his own expansion.
Yeah, if you're pretty sure it's gonna be a Death Knight, usually you'd see humans creep that camp that JohnnyCage is doing right now as first, and then straight into the expo if the Death Knight is still across the map. But Johnny, perhaps sensing that there could be a second Cryptlord being used here, went for the different creep route, which will give him level 3 here when he clears out that expansion. And that should be a pretty good timing for him to be ready to defend as well against the Cryptlord, assuming he starts the expansion immediately. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if XlorD can speeds across the map here with this thick-looking Cryptlord.
Very volatile matchup, always is. The damage is going to be happening here. It's going to be huge. Impale Steel would have been sick, but the Cryptlord a bit too late. Arkman gets level 3, Pendant of Energy. Doesn't get that much mana from it, actually, having been low mana. But the level 2 Water Elementals are really good right now. And we keep an eye on the peasants. How many are gonna go down?
Yeah, that's always the most important thing here. If you're XlorD, you really want to kill 5 to 6. And then you're happy with that. But right now, he was attacking a Water Elemental. I think nothing has died, right?
Yeah, he lost none. One's perhaps gonna go down to the Beetles. But, to the Skellies, that is. But yeah, really good defense here. Great positioning by Johnny, but also, like you mentioned, not over-brawling with the ghouls. XlorD also didn't lose any of them. Didn't lose that much HP either. And with more Skellies and more Beetles, he can always swing around another time. And these peasants are normally always the most exposed while they're building the town hall.
Yeah, this is actually an attack here on which a lot of players, they're trading ghouls for peasants. But not XlorD. The fact that he escaped with everything is so important because now he retained that, or those ghouls to be able to mine lumber in his main base. He's threatening with some full HP ones. And he's also not feeding experience and not allowing JohnnyCage to go for a counter attack because of this.
Two-pronged attack. CryptLord and ghouls along with summons in the main. And we have ghouls also over at the expansion, but also a good split by Johnny. Archmage in the main, he's got militia support there, Watch Elemental and Footy at the expansion. Some peasants are going down here and there. XlorD has his expo mining in a moment, but so does Johnny. And XlorD not teching quite yet. Going also for an early graveyard, I like that. You want to have Fiends out early, because otherwise the counterattack from the human can be devastating.
XlorD's working on the altar. I don't think he's actually planning on fully killing this. Like, you know, the opponent will usually repair, but he's gonna summon beetles inside of the wall here. And he's just trying to make peasants not be mining lumber, which in itself is so important because then JohnnyCage's tech is gonna be so delayed. Even though XlorD hasn't started his own tech, and he definitely should be right now. He gets the second creep at the expo. Look at this SimCity at the expo. That's actually pretty cool.
And there's another ghoul run by. This game is all about economic damage, all about harass. Lots of multitasking needed. I'm glad I'm not playing in this game because I would be failing. Question is, who's going to be taking more damage? CryptLord gets level 3 with one more kill. Now he's got level 2 beetles, and there's corpses inside the main to summon some of them.
Yeah, somehow he's infiltrated the human wall here. The tower is almost ready. That ghoul would give a little bit of experience here. 1 hit points. That ghoul is going off on those peasants. And he's finding the peasant kills in the main that he wasn't able to kill in the
peasants! That impale! Oh my god, so many peasants going down, but the haunted might be falling at the same time. And again, the question has to be, who's taking more damage here?
Yeah, there's about to be a spirit tower. I think even the Nerebian should be working on those footmen because without defense, they actually are going to fall pretty fast. But yeah, all acolytes gone from the expo. XlorD is spamming acolytes in his main for some reason. I definitely feel like he should tech and rely on his second necropolis to make acolytes. He's trying to repair and save that expo. This is a complete bloodbath on both sides of the map here.
And this is why I always like these CryptLord games, because they get so wild, they get so crazy. Stuff happening absolutely everywhere. Both heroes on level 4, which arguably is better for the Archmage. He's got so much mana sustain. The CryptLord has absolutely no mana and no way of recovering mana for a long time.
XlorD is targeting the Archmage. I think he didn't check the inventory. This is a very big mistake because he has greater healing. So it's almost ideal here. He's gonna tank all of the damage, pop that greater healing, and now the first, or I guess the most powerful tower of the two here, the Spirit Tower, is gonna go down. JohnnyCage can start running away again. And he techs. JohnnyCage techs with 2 peasants on lumber in the main base. Pretty ambitious.
This game is looking really good now for Johnny. If only he can secure his expansion to make sure that the mining is happening there safely. Having the expo lead, having the tech lead, this game is looking better and better for Johnny.
Footman in the top left. It's catching a single acolyte. That's going to be a bit more experience going to the Archmage as well. He's almost 4.5. He's 4.4 right now. And still killing more acolytes at the expo. Those Water Elementals putting in work. That's why there is the Fiend transition as well. Is because you can't rely on ghouls anymore here against Water Elementals level 2.
Yeah. If XlorD made a mistake here, I feel like he made Fiends too late. He had the graveyard pretty early, but he started Fiend production really late. If he had those earlier, maybe he could have held at the expansion. What Johnny did so well was respecting the CryptLord attack, also the 2-pronged attack, but then not being too defensive, not just hanging back, not just holding on, accepting some losses on his side, but also realizing his own strength to be aggressive across the map.
And now XlorD is just kind of spamming Fiends to try and get them to the critical number where you can deal with Footmen a lot more easily, because while there could be defend is pretty terrible against both the Cryptlord, Beetles, and even Impale in general. So that Cryptlord for now, though, completely out of mana. Can XlorD save both Fiends? Oh my god. If he can do so, that would be amazing for him. One of them goes down, and I think the other one should as well, unless he has some sick ninja escape here.
Look at the Archmage. He's even looking for the Fiend, swooping out from the other side. Another Fiend goes down. Look at this AM's experience. 4.7. That's crazy. Johnny with a marvelous game, and XlorD in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, with absolutely no tech either. Like, he's spamming Fiends as much as he can to try and retake control of this game here. Start winning some fights against the Footmen. About to find another kill here in center. He's close to 5 himself, but he's completely out of mana, and when there is no tech, obviously there's not going to be any mana pots.
When will that tech start? Presumably pretty soon. He's got the Acolytes remade, he's got the Haunted finished again, but of course Johnny making way more bank. 500 gold still for him. Lumber is the problem, as you'd pointed out earlier, with a low peasant count. So the tier 2 right now not doing anything for him yet until he has that lumber.
Yeah, this is actually really sick. He bought a Shredder and a Zeppelin without creeping the lab. It's so easy to forget that this is a possibility, but some players like JohnnyCage, they're always ready to do this if they need to, and now this is literally gonna fix any lumber issue he could have had. JohnnyCage literally could take to tier 3 right now, start Mount tanking easily, and then immediately behind. I think we're gonna see the trademark double Arcane Sanctum, which usually you want to have against a Cryptlord.
Both first heroes reach level 5 before we even see a second hero. It's also somewhat rare. And we have level 3 Beetles, by the way. The Beetles and the Ghouls going towards the expansion. That's going to be all peasants going down unless the Archmage TP's back. Or runs back.
A player's forces are under attack.
This Archmage is a survivor. Greater healing earlier, Hellstone now. It's going to be super hard to take him out. Maybe with a well-timed Impale, but I don't even think you should target it, to be honest. Just be going for the units. Ghouls in the Expo, finding a lot of kills here, actually. There's really not much. The Shredder should go and fight, but he's actually attacking the Illusion right now.
Yeah, with Johnny having the tech lead, should he really sacrifice his economy right here? That does look a bit questionable. Cryptlord is close by, can summon more Beetles. The level 3 Beetle choice here seems to make a lot of sense.
It's doing a lot of damage.
Oh, the Shredder gets a surround!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's huge.
And Johnny has no lumber right now. I think that Shredder might have had the lumber gathered as well, which he never brought back to the tunnel too.
Oh, look at those Beetles, dude. That's just too tanky to deal with just one Arcane Tower is enough. Almost surround. Oh my god, he almost had the MK as well, dude. XlorD fighting back.
One more rack started, which is almost unusual. Against Cryptlord, usually it's double Sanctum and then you had double Workshop, but he went 2 racks and 1 Sanctum.
So many peasants dying, and I gotta say, it does seem like Johnny should have just TP'd back when this attack started.
Or ran back. He was not that far.
Yeah, one of the two.
Look at this Mount tanking, by the way. He's gonna enter the game. Look at the inventory.
Forces are under attack.
I got a gift for you. Sobi Mask, Pennet of Energy, Ring of Protection. Should be getting the Hellstone, I think, maybe as well later.
So since we're in the late game now, and the MK will be tanking, would you concede that the
Is
ring
that
is good
Zeppelin?
here? Oh,
My god! Isn't it?
barely unloads.
2 hit
2
points.
HP. Oh my god. Is the ring good in this late game, or is it still bad, Todd? What do you think?
It's never good.
That's so not true.
It's your word against mine. Raymond.
It's pretty good late game, man. He's creeping here aggressively. That's very nice. Taking this camp away from the undead side. When the DK comes out, there's not too much for him to creep. There is the Tuskar camp, if it's not also stolen, which it could be. Another great item here, possible for the Mountain King. What do we get? Another pendant! Oh my god!
You can get another Shredder, actually.
Isn't it on cooldown? I know it's off.
No.
cooldown. You're right.
Yeah, on both sides it's available. And also we can staff it with Staff of Sanctuary, like in his main, where I think it will be safer inside of the wall. Mount tanking just peacefully creeping on the other side. Yeah, that second Pennet of Energy, my goodness. This Mount tanking is going to be so scary.
And he takes the Tuskar camp away. That's a very nice move. Very important to try to limit the levels on the enemy side. If it's a straight up 2-base kind of game, and we macro up to 80 supply, it oftentimes comes down to the hero levels. And Johnny's got a big lead there on his second hero. Huge lead. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. XlorD shows up there. He's like, hey, that's mine. Give those items back, you thief. Actually, the steal here with the Stormbolt not gonna quite happen.
Oh,
Maybe
impale,
it's downfall, of
surround.
course. Oh, yeah, staff. You can actually just staff, then run away.
Yeah. Tries to kill the DK first, though. Invul potion, heal potion, he's fine. Staff last second.
Show off.
With the beetles especially, XlorD could creep the red cam pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, he will. XlorD in dire need of some statues there, and he's starting the first one right now.
Players' forces are
And usually when you have double creep like this, one slaughterhouse, you'll have a temple, go into banshees, make sure that you're covered against high-level human heroes with anti-magic shield, and also have possession against that. Why is this mountain king gonna get out? Oh, he has the Zeppelin!
He sends the Zeppelin back in time. Look at that, dude. That's
Personal
so sexy.
evacuation.
Oh,
It's like, you know, those golf carts, right? It's the
I
same
know the
here.
ones from Jackass. Is those the ones you mean?
Any one of them, man.
players' forces are
I saw some awesome stunts back in my day. I think the Cryptlord soaked up a bit of experience here unnecessarily, but whatever. The DK still got 2.5. Close to 3 now, but still not there. These level 1 coils won't be able to heal up the Cryptlord too easily. As we see the Lich coming. But yeah, XlorD still far behind in tech. He might know
Legion Doomhorn, very unfortunate here for XlorD finds. He knows that there is Staff of Sanctuary right now, so like it's hard to even choose what to target. And also like, yeah, without Lich and Orb here, like you shouldn't even really be fighting, to be honest.
He's got a ton of Fiends though, with good upgrades. 2-1 Fiends. But also now we got the Dispel. Cryptlord in trouble. Coil comes in, but level 1 Coil against Orb of Fire doesn't do that much. Stormbolt again. MK though, not too much mana here.
Yeah. Definitely would be. I feel like they're over fighting almost.
And he doesn't.
It's almost like, you know, those
reveal.
MMA fighters that really don't like each other, so they just rush each other and fight
got
almost like a
sentry.
little bit stupid.
He doesn't realize he has a sentry. Oh, that's 3 Fiends up for grabs here. 4 Fiends. Oh, Johnny. Does he realize now? As the unburrows are happening? Oh, that's a huge missed opportunity. Didn't notice the sentry. That would have been huge.
Yeah. And now there's Lich with Orb, so this becomes a completely different game. With this many Fiends, 2-1 upgrades already. Like, great job with the upgrades from XlorD. 0-0 on the other side. No investment whatsoever into upgrades, but that's because he has no lumber. Because he didn't rebuy a shredder.
That shredder's around earlier. That, like, first killing the peasants and then the shredder kill, that was just so huge. I think that's
You know-
what keeps XlorD in this game.
You know how many shredders I've lost at my expo that have come up with a rule? Now shredder is only in the main base. If I will never ever send a shredder to my expo. I would rather die at my expo while my shredder's mining lumber in my main. That's how much I got fed up losing the shredders.
You should tell Johnny about that rule, probably.
Pretty sure he's gonna implement it himself after this game.
And then he's gonna tell you, who's in the top 8, bro? Is it you or me?
I'll say see you on the ladder.
Little man.
Double healing scroll for XlorD. Kinda weird, but I guess with this many fiends here, and I mean XlorD has got some excellent kiting. It does make sense to have that.
He's not going Banshees, by the way, which would be the normal late game tech. We see double Slaughterhouse, so Destroyers it seems like, which is dangerous, I would say, at the very least, against Gyros, possibly.
Or could be A-bombs as well. Look at the ghouls in the expo, by the way. XlorD always doing this kind of plays here to get some peasants. Like, you would have to have so many towers for this to not be effective at all. Whereas, like, now, the ghouls might die, but they're gonna do a lot of damage. The Lich, oh my god, he's gonna melt. XlorD caught in a bad position.
Yeah, super vulnerable when the DK and the Lich are low level. The hero target is always an option. Of course, targeting the Cryptlord not too easy. Maybe the TP should have been on the DK and the invul on the Lich. And it seems like Johnny is taking this fight in stride. Going now for the Death Knight. There's a big boon after this fight, which is the red camp. Goes for the Paladin. Nice combo. The heal squad, I think, just a hair too late. But these knights are chasing. They're really strong. There's no frost armor to protect the fiends. And this is something I felt for a long time. I think if you're playing this kind of game, the level 1 Lich shouldn't go Nova, but rather frost armor, in my opinion. And XlorD feels the pain for not having Frost Armor.
Look at that Knight Bloodlusted. Bloodlusted and Bloodthirsty. Okay, they just expired, but
my
that
God.
was...
Jesus. Oh.
Oof, the DK barely escaping. There's a statue at the expo. XlorD needs to kind of get everything together. He has so much gold. Oh my God, he's gonna save in no upkeep.
And he's going
Player's
again.
forces are under attack.
Excuse me, for the economy harass. Kriller about to get level 6.
A town
I
is
don't
under
think he goes
siege.
for the ult. The ult is not very good. Impale 3 seems the better choice here.
What? The ult is amazing, bro.
Nah, not really. But that's the expansion laid bare, and Johnny's gonna have to come back here. These beetles do some good normal damage.
It's weird, he went for the ult.
Oh wow, I would have thought he would go Impale. Alright, here's
Okay,
the TP
XlorD
back. XlorD Stealth is coming. He pulled the Fiends
Yeah.
back already. Really cool.
Waiting for like 2,500 gold would be overdoing it. I think he was maybe getting close to 2k, and then he broke upkeep and started spending all of his gold. Don't be greedy with the Temple as well. Go for that ASAP. Lich and DK trying to level on their own. Items transferred.
He didn't solo creep the Lich. That's a bit of a mistake. That level 2 for Frost Armor, man. It's so important. I don't know if you know, but Frost Armor is a pretty good spell.
Yeah, I lose to it every single day, so... I kind of know. Every time I target one... Every time my units turn and start looking at one of Happy's units, before I can even hit it, he uses Frost Armor.
Yeah, that's I do feel that that's very believable. 75 supply for Johnny, 72 for XlorD. Great game here. This is one of my favorite games so far of this DreamHack season.
The player's forces are under
Oh,
attack.
that Null Brute could be level 2 Lich if you solo crept. We hardly have any creeps left, only the little greens outside Johnny's main. He's got good levels, by the way. 5,
Yeah.
4, 3, excellent.
He's working with double staff. And Legion wasn't great on XlorD, but on JohnnyCage, it's going to be an amazing item to have here. Inner Fire Knights. And to be honest, when there is no Banshees, this is kind of the dream here, is to have a bunch of Knights against Fiends like this. It's really the Destroyers he needs to worry about. So JohnnyCage needs to see this and maybe spam a few more Flying Machines, maybe even some attack upgrade for them, but he's getting more right now.
XlorD can only morph 3 Destroyers. He doesn't have supply capacity for more. And I feel like 3 Destroyers should be pretty easily dealt with by these Gyros here.
Well, there is Web.
There is.
A
But
player's
there's also lots of
forces are
stuff
under
on the
attack.
ground.
There is the
Water
amazing
elementals.
Locust Swarm, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see that one as well. I'm not sure if that works against mechanical units, does
The
it?
town is under siege.
It works against everything, even critters. Even the map is transformed as those little
Oh, this is not a good
insects
position for
fly by.
Johnny. If he goes in here, he's gonna get mega impaled. It's only level 2, but he doesn't know that yet.
He pulls the Murloc camp with the 80 supply army. Come
It's
at
level
me,
2 for the
Brett.
Lich. It's actually a big
Player's
deal
forces are under
if he
attack.
gets
I'm
it.
getting these Murlocs. What are you gonna know about it?
Alright, time to pre-cast Frost Armor and everything.
Oh, this is so well done. He left 2 ghouls inside of the Expo gold mine here. And Mount Tanking is gonna go deep in first. Locust Swarm is used. Almost all the Flying Machines, but 3 are webbed right now.
XlorD kiting back. The Destroyer's out of range of many of these Gyros, actually. Lich in trouble again. Has the Invul Potion. Wants to hold on to it if he can. Has to pop it, though. Coil comes in after. Lich healed again. XlorD TP's out. Doesn't like the look of this fight anymore. DK in trouble as well. But he gets out. Oh my god. All the bugs die. That sounded terrifying. But the ghouls killed the peasants again. And XlorD, if he wins this game, he wins it through economic damage. Rarely seen in WarCraft, rather a StarCraft thing. Of course, XlorD used to be a StarCraft player as well. And I think he's got the lead now. Does he?
Well, JohnnyCage is only on 66 supply. JohnnyCage did such a good job improving his position, by the way, in that fight. If he didn't do that, keep on moving around, getting the Knights on top of the Fiends, I think XlorD would have just stayed longer and done really well. But yeah, JohnnyCage, his economy is in big trouble there because he needs to remake Peasants and he doesn't have much gold left in the main base. On Northern Isle, if you fast expand, the expansion mines out shortly after the main, usually. or at about the same time even sometimes. Now, because the expansions were slowed down on both sides, they're going to have a bit more gold. But yeah, XlorD's going to be the one with the extra base, which is scouted in the top left by JohnnyCage's Zeppelin. But without Banshees, by the way. As long as there is no Banshees, there is always hope for some hero target there, which is very dangerous. And he still has a decent amount of Knights against Fiends. It's really those Destroyers he needs to counter more effectively.
The Lich especially looking exposed right now. Invul Potion saved him earlier. Right now, only one available on the DK. XlorD would love to have more than that. XlorD looking for the expansion bottom right. He knows the expo for the opponent is soon to run out. And then if he can secure the top left, that's the win condition.
And XlorD had 2 goals in the bottom right to make sure there was no additional expansion. He realizes that JohnnyCage is on the way and sends 2 more goals into the expo. The amount of peasants that have died this game is giving me some flashbacks from my latter sessions. And trust me, those are not good memories.
Oh, I've watched your stream. You don't need to remind me. XlorD kiting backwards. 80 supply on both sides. I would argue the human heroes are stronger at this point. But I think it comes down to who wins the air battle. Destroyers or Gyros. We have a lot of them now. 11 Gyros, 2-1 upgraded. XlorD will have to kite very well to win this fight.
I'm a bit surprised to see XlorD being so timid, by the way. He pulled back all the way on Blight. There is a big bad Shredder in the top left, just slicing away at this haunted gold mine. So he wasn't quite confident enough yet to take the fight outside of that expansion. He's gonna wait a bit longer, gets an Abomination. Disease Cloud is actually really sick here if you can get it.
He does have the lumber. There we go, starting now. Takes a minute, I believe. Tense game.
So many Flame Machines. And actually, those human heroes are gonna level when he kills the Destroyers here, which he should be able to do because he made so many of them. All right, here we go. Let's see the Impale. Lands on the Paladin, the Archmage, and some of the casters. Flame Machines taking out Destroyers so quickly.
Yeah, in this super late game, dealing with the mass Gyros is really hard to do. The Destroyers are all taken out. And it seems like Johnny might have this comeback finally completed. Mountain King in the front line is an absolute beast. 500 mana pool, almost. Targeting the CryptLord now, he's a tanky boy, but perhaps not tanky enough. Invul Potion transferred, nicely done. He will survive. Also healing up through the ultimate here a little bit every now and then. Supply is clearly though with the human. Oh, Mountain King almost going down. Has to have the Holy Light to save the hero, save the carry. And he does save him for now. The Knight's still chasing the inner fire here, super strong as well. These Gyros made sure there's no Destroyers left anymore. And the inner fire is a great buff on everything. XlorD starting to run out of mana. He's got only one more Impale left, pretty much. MK is healed up again. The clap is wonderful. And the MK is still tanking like a boss. That Ring of Protection not looking so bad, perhaps. Also, the inner fire certainly doing its thing. CryptLord low again. Next nuke could be his end. One more coil comes in. And he does survive. Johnny seems to be taking this game now in stride. Stormbolt again, targeting the first hero. Coil is always ready, just barely. One more potion being given over. MK dies though! Staff was on cooldown. He only had one staff going for the DK now. He's gonna not get that kill. Double click TP going for the CryptLord next. Can he get this one? Trying to cover the retreat with the Impale. The Pally was in trouble as well. He had his staff on the Pally, by the way. Was that one on cooldown? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was 3 seconds. I was only looking at that. It was 3 seconds away. But now XlorD doesn't have the gold to add many units. But does he really need to? He has triple statue. These acolytes, look at them. They're escorting the entire army. They're blocking as much of the human army as they can in the fight. JohnnyCage is the one that needs to remake the Mountain King. Thankfully, or luckily for him, he had enough to restart that. And I think XlorD knows that he has a window here during which he can do even more damage. There's no Town Portal and no Invuln on this CryptLord. So there's almost like a timer on XlorD here, doing damage.
Yeah.
And finishing this game, because if that Mountain King comes back out and it's already midway through a remade, he's gonna feel the pain of that 500 mana pool again. I think the Sobi Mask, by the way, should have been on the Pala, and maybe one of the mana pendants, because keeping the heroes alive is more important than doing max damage, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. JohnnyCage, once the MK is back, he's got the lead again, but until then, XlorD is trying to get as much of an edge as he can He's not too close to level ups yet. Level 7 Crypt Lord.
Jumping the army, the Archmage.
Yes.
Oh my god. What does he go for?
Impel comes through, going for the casters. DK in a bad position, by the way. If he gets slowed, he might get stuck. He's almost surrounded. Death Knight in trouble. But he does
he
get
has
out just
Gyro Bomb.
barely.
He's shooting down the statues with the gyros. That's so smart to actually add that, because now they had no purpose, that they got rid of the destroyers. Mount tanking about to come back out. JohnnyCage, perhaps with the equalizer, gets level 4 on the Paladin. Archmage is almost 6. He's got an invuln. He might need that in a second. He's getting targeted, but gets healed on time, and Mount tanking is back into the fight.
With a huge clap right away at the beginning. He's out of mana now. Oh, but the Fiends are all slowed from that clap. Not too many Zorks to follow up with the slow, but more Fiends will be falling. Knights are pretty fast, especially with that aura. It's level 6 for the Archmage. You can go for the ult now. Even the Shredder is finding some kills on the retreat right there. And XlorD now way down in supply. Both players out of income. And Johnny is
Shredder.
thankfully likely tying up this series. We want a third map of this one.
His Shredder was very angry. The first one of its kind got sniped so easily in the game. This one came back with a revenge. Sniped the Haunted Gold Mine in the top left-hand side. XlorD and summoning the entire expansion. He's gonna try to recover because he has Tri-Hero double statue. So if he can get a few more units out, maybe he can wear this human army down. Somehow, that's the plan here. But there's Brilliance level 3. JohnnyCage absolutely not interested in mass teleport. He's like, no, I need water elementals. I got enough gyros to make sure you don't get destroyers, and I need Brilliance level 3 for my Tri-Hero. Super smart, actually. I completely agree with that.
MK about to hit 5, by the way. Whether it's Stormbolt or Clap, both are gonna be super good. XlorD, what's his next big level up? It would be, like, Lich 4 isn't even that huge in this scenario. DK5 would be it, but that's far away.
He shouldn't summon one of the slaughterhouse. He has 2. But what to get? I guess like one bomb is always kind of important to have. But I mean, this army of JohnnyCage now is looking so much stronger.
Yeah.
62 army supply to 39.
I think without Banshee tech, the human just has the way stronger army. If there were a couple of Banshees in this army for XlorD, would be a different story. MK.
I don't think King is a
scouting
shade, man. Look at that. What's up, guys?
Don't use Clap, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So tempting. Just bolt. There's like a devil on his shoulder. Just bolt an acolyte. You know you want to. Just bolt, Clap, get out of there.
There is a bit of long distance mining going on. We have 3 peasants left, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the long distance mining from the natural to the 3rd base.
Shredder got the he got the last wife again. What's the plan here, XlorD? Why is he not unsummoning one of the slaughterhouse? He could maybe even do both, because it's not like he's gonna remake much anyway. Just make some more fiends from the crypt, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, sending out back one acolyte now.
Gyro bombs, get in position!
MK shows himself. It is Stormbolt 3, by the way. Impale, focus on the MK. He's tanky, though. There's a lot of Holy Lights to keep him safe. No ultimate yet on the Crypt Lord. Has to pop it soon if he wants to fight.
I think he checked the inventory, was like, okay, no invuln, I'm just gonna go for your heroes here. There's nothing you can do about it without AMS. And that Crypt Lord in real danger here. Mount King about to fall. Is there staff? Holy Light is just on time. And this is it. JohnnyCage with a beautiful game number 2 gets the equalizer.
Whew, game 1 was a little short, but map 2 definitely makes up for it. 33 minutes of epicness. Started with 2 base plays, started with multiple harasses, just a bloodbath throughout the entire game. This was stressful. And JohnnyCage is getting readier, if that's even a word, for late game human. Of course, it's a very different game than a DK Fiend Dark Ranger play that we saw Monday. But he's implementing way more Sanctum play, way earlier breakers, and that helps in the late game. And he was ready for that. Damn, what a banger. Hard to decide what was better, the match between Hawk and Starbuck yesterday or this one right here.
Well, not map 1 of this match, yeah, but from map 2, it got better.
All right. I guess both players need a bit of a rest. You guys probably too. Catch a breath, grab a glass of water, and then we decide this. Who's gonna follow Happy, Foggy, and Kraft into the quarterfinal? What a banger of a series. What a banger of a day. We're about to conclude this. We start into map number 3 between XlorD and JohnnyCage. And isn't it nice how the statistics lined up so perfectly with the same win rate against the opponent's race, with the 50-50 score against each other, and now it's tied 1-1. Can't we just stop here and both players advance?
Well, they very well may, Neo. It seems likely, but one of them has to go through in first place. Who's that gonna be? Who's gonna dodge Happy and Foggy for sure? We're gonna find that out. If game 2 was anything to go by, this should be a fun one.
Exactly, and draws are boring. We need a decision here, and the decision will be made on Autumn Leaves, the newly updated version 2.0. Whew, I'm excited for this one. Hopefully it's not another 4-minute affair, but one of these bangers that we saw on Northern Isles. You guys, I'm a little jealous that you are casting this, but I wish you good game. Have fun. Let's go.
It was pretty clear from the get-go that the previous 2 maps were very good for XlorD. For the third one here, it's a bit of a different story, perhaps. It's not as easy of a creep, and there is a merc camp on the map, but it's an awkward merc camp. It's in the middle of the map, is not easily accessible, like on LR, for example, or Shallow Grave. And XlorD is in fact going for the Crypt Lord once again, not mixing it up at all. Well, I guess there's also a possibility for a DK Fast Expo that has been somewhat popular lately, but not here. Crypt Lord again against Johnny's standard play.
Going into this tournament, I just remembered these two players, they're ranked 5 and 6 in the EPT rankings with the exact same amount of points. So obviously whoever loses here will still have a chance to advance, but yeah, we keep mentioning it. That's because it's so important. Whoever finishes first here will get neither Foggy or Happy in the quarterfinals, so that gives you a realistic chance to go further, whereas the second place in this group is gonna have, I guess, 1 chance out of 3 to dodge Foggy and Happy, and I mean these odds are not very good, right?
Yeah, would love to avoid that if you can. The thing is, if Hawk doesn't make it out of the groups, that's going to give a nice safety cushion for these two anyways. If they do make it out, Hawk is still going to have a very stressful day tomorrow in Group B in the lower bracket. Alright, Crypt Lord comes out, quick scout again by Johnny. And XlorD is going to go for the instant expansion again, it seems. And this one is basically in the middle of the map, so this one is very easy to harass.
Oh, he's gonna harass? JohnnyCage is running across the map. He's doing a style that's initially against Crypt Lord, like a lot of humans were trying to fast expand, and then that didn't necessarily work. So then they started playing a lot more aggressive and preventing the Crypt Lord from expanding, because on one base it's a lot much harder to pull off. The experience goes to XlorD here, but he's gonna have to disengage since he can't fight both the Crypts on the expansion and the Archmage that's there. Now the question is, does he abort the expansion attempt? We've seen a lot of Crypt Lord one base before.
This is where things get weird. What's the flow chart right now? How are you supposed to react? On both sides. Is XlorD just going to tech? This is something that Juan, for example, has shown a lot in the past, and indeed he does. Tech starts.
Oh, Johnny is going to expand with just
Johnny's
militia.
going to expand, yeah.
Oh, this is sick. Because XlorD can't really scout for it either. He would have like to have a stroke of genius and send a skeleton across to know as soon as... Okay, actually no. JohnnyCage is running back.
Yeah.
He just slowed down XlorD's expansion, but now he's ready to take his.
Not seeing the Archmage for this amount of time makes it, I guess, fairly obvious. XlorD could expand during the tech, although that would be a... Oh, ensnare on the footy. If this one falls, it's level 2 for the Crypt Lord.
And level 2 for the Crypt Lord means Impale available. Can he get a deny maybe? Archmage not even looking for it here. That's going to be level 2 as soon as this Trapper dies here, and immediately XlorD knows what's going on. He sees that... Actually, he doesn't see the additional item. That wasn't picked up yet. It's going to be a Cloak of Shadows, by the way. Very good item. If you get surrounded, you almost want to bait that. You know, run around, get surrounded, and then be able to hide. But it's also dangerous because there is the lab in center for Revelation.
Another Crypt Lord looking to be aggressive, looking to do some damage. These peasants building a town hall right now. This is when they're most exposed. And also, if XlorD expands behind this, oh, the Impale is just begging to be used. Not doing it, though. He's got all 5 peasants with the Impale, but he holds on to the mana. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe he just wants more beetles and skellies to deal with the peasants.
Quite a few peasants going down. 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. 5 gonna follow. 6-1 as well. More ghouls coming in. Expansion coming up behind this.
Oh, he baited with the Archmage. He stayed there. Oh, he hit a little fast. So I guess he wanted to preserve hit points. That ghoul is trapped. That's a lot of XP going to JohnnyCage here. And as much as on Northern Isle, we didn't see XlorD overcommit to the aggression early on in the first place before he turned into a bloodbath. This time, he has lost a lot, and Archmage will be free, which gives a big opportunity for a counterattack after he's defended here.
And the Expo for the Undead is not standing yet. And also, by the way, the Narrow Tower hasn't even been started to upgrade. It was a lot of peasants dying, though.
Oh, XlorD is tier 2 finishing now already. So he teched
really nice.
Somewhat early, and he's gonna rely on the Necropolis on the Expo to make acolytes. So very delayed Expo. This Crypt Lord is beat up. Probably should get out of there with the staff or something. To go home, use dagger, get a roll of necromancy.
I just saw the ghouls also ran into the main, but didn't really kill anything there. Just caused a bit more distraction. XlorD's so good at using this ghoul pressure to buy time for himself. We saw it even in the late game on Northern Isles, how he was able to utilize this. Narrow Tower only starting now. That seems to be the first glaring error by XlorD this game.
I guess the good thing about this tier 2 here for XlorD is that Death Knight is going to come out. He can start coiling the Crypt Lord and keeping him alive. And also access to mana potions is going to be very, very important. But if that expo gets cancelled...
Oh, the Haunted.
I won't. It's almost finished.
Oh, it's dropping low, but there is repair. Question is, how can XlorD dislodge this attack? He doesn't have too much. Crypt Lord is low. Only a couple of ghouls. Has to wait for the DK for coils, I guess.
The town is under siege.
Yeah, XlorD completely stuck on ghouls this game. There is absolutely no graveyard in sight. Gets a Rod of Necromancy. He doesn't want to buy any potions because Death Knight is about to come out. He definitely should get some mana potions. Just a few kills on the expo on this Footman will give him Crypt Lord level 3 as well. Even though it's 2.7, I guess. If the Death Knight is around to soak the experience, that's not going to be ideal for the Crypt Lord.
Tech starts for Johnny now. The expo is of course standing, but this tech is so much slower. Crypt Lord, still low HP, but he's getting coiled every now and then. Yeah, not buying a mana potion here, pretty weird. He had lots of gold. Would love to get an Impale Surround. He bought a Dust, especially. Oh, but it's the DK who gets surrounded instead. Cloak transfer. Oh, nice play.
Yeah, gets the save on that. The Archmage needs to be careful. There is almost an Impale. He drops low enough to get finished by Impale and some target. There is even Coil as well, so there's still somewhat of undead double nuke, even though it's not DK Lich. But on the other side, yeah, the tech is on the way. Good peasant count on Lumber by JohnnyCage. He put a lot of effort into that with the production.
The fast tier 2 was good for XlorD to get the second hero DK out, but because the graveyard couldn't be made because he was low gold until the expo was standing, he doesn't get the benefit of Fiends or of a Slaughterhouse. Most importantly, the Slaughterhouse. You need the graveyard for this, and statues make all the difference in the world, as we know. Crypt Lord now level 3. Is Johnny thinking about a Tavern hero? Well, it's too early for that, I guess.
He's getting defend.
A player's forces are under attack.
And a Shredder again.
Even though he has a decent amount of peasant, and he's also getting improved lumber harvesting. Maybe he wants to drop with the Shredder in the first place, and then later on send it back home. Okay, no, he's actually gonna... Wait, is he gonna apply the rule? It's going for the main base, Remo. He knows.
Also a Gargoyle here against this possible Zeppelin Harass. Would love to see the last hit of the big boy. Should get it with a coil, right? Yep, and that's level 2. That's the aura. That's big. The item's still up for grabs. This camp was changed from the previous version. Nowadays, we have a Wildkin here. That's the big boy who carries the item.
950 hit points on that guy. Not quite as easy to pull and kill just for the item, of course. That's the whole point of this. Yeah, second Crypt, Slaughterhouse on the way.
Oh, the Archmage! Coil! Oh, that was just barely enough! Perfectly calculating the stun duration and the damage, and the AM falls. Has to be a Tavern Revive, of course. Next Impale could also get the last hit of the Wildkin. Crypt Lord also in trouble, but he's got potions. Heal pot and mana pot. These two are just delivering right here. They are spoiling us with this gameplay. Garg after the
Zeppelin. Oh, the Crypt Lord is dead. Oh my god, he gets surrounded. He wasn't looking.
Oh my god.
How did this happen? Cloak of Shadow even hides the Archmage. And he's gonna get the Crypt Lord still. How did this just happen? Oh
Jesus
my goodness.
Christ. Has to go for his own revive. If he gets surrounded here, when he gets Tavern Rest, that would be a disaster.
Didn't dare to go for it in the first place. Quite expensive here.
There's Wildkin standing over there being like, what the hell is going on here? What are you two up to?
And the Fiend.
A player's forces are under attack.
Another Zeppelin, maybe? We got one available. Alright, here's the first statue. That changes a whole lot. Johnny is gonna get the last. He's got the heal potion. Might not get the item. Belt, really good item for the undead.
Oh, all of this for a belt.
And there's the second Zeppelin. Perfect timing.
He can dodge the bolts.
The MK is coming in.
Oh, this is sick. And JohnnyCage, knowing that the bolt can be dodged, doesn't even throw the stone bolts. The restraint of that guy. What a sick series.
The thing is, XlorD is tier 3 already. Lich is coming. Johnny, not there yet. We have a good number of ghouls. As you mentioned earlier, XlorD is known for these tier 3 frenzy timings. Is Johnny ready for this? With only 2 towers at the expansion, he might not be.
XlorD is doing a good job as well, prioritizing the correct camps here. Like realizing that he has this many Fiends, he can always go for this. And I don't think Johnny can do much about it. I'm actually surprised he's kind of like tanking a lot of damage with the Archmage. You kind of want to preserve that hit point bar.
Cryptlord not level too high.
A player's forces
Pretty
are under
far
attack.
away still from 4. DK though might get 3 soon, and that heal ward is nice to have here for sure. Where's Zeppelin? Not here at the moment. Lich comes out, doesn't pick up the orb yet. Oh,
The Zeppelin
that's
is
a
in
big
top
mistake.
left dying to one single gyro.
So Lich joins, but he forgot the orb.
You had one job, Lich.
Oh, XlorD doesn't realize that he's bringing the ghouls, but he didn't bring the orb.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back just for that. And he doesn't have backpack either. That's a lot of... By the way, these ghouls are like really scary, because usually if you have ghouls and fiends, it's very hard for like one unit specifically to counter you. But in this case, if there was enough knights, I think JohnnyCage would be okay. But the first two are in production only now. And
Yeah.
Paladin only recently started as well.
Level 2 clap, of course, is a good way to go up against ghouls, but with the
Are under attack.
tier 3 state here being pushed so early, the MK of course didn't have time to creep level 3. Johnny still trying to build up a good army, but lots of it is still stuck with footmen, and footies at this stage of the game are catastrophically bad.
And that ghoul sheeping over the orb and a scroll of healing as well. Backpack made worth not having to send a hero back home. And the push will hit a little later than he would have liked to, which actually gave time for JohnnyCage to have 2 knights now.
Yeah.
And he has 2 towers in position. If he repairs correctly, sends militia, which was being sent now. All you have to do is like hold the first big attack. That's the most dangerous one here. After that, it becomes simpler to play against this style. Paladin is gonna come in from behind. He has to be careful not to get surrounded.
XlorD would love to fight out in the open, away from the towers. It's not too easy to take out these knights. Goes for the Mountain King. Only level 1 Holy Light at the moment. That belt is helping him so much right now. DK is about to hit 3, doesn't quite have it yet. Militia flank coming in from the other side. There we go, that's level 3. Ghouls all hurt now. Does he still have the heal scroll? No, he used it already.
The Archmage.
Ghouls all about to die. Archmage in trouble.
The Archmage is pushed away by ghouls. He can't
Mountain
stab the Mountain
King.
King because of this. That ghoul movement by XlorD is making him kill the Mountain King.
Oh, you're right. Pushed him away for the staff. The MK dies, and even the knight is trapped over here. Johnny gonna lose 4 more supply, down to 60. XlorD up at 71, now morphing into destroyers as well. Must have web, or at least can get it soon. How many gyros are there? JohnnyCage holding on by a thread here.
That was a sick move here. He sent the Archmage out, and as soon as he was far away enough, he was like, oh, now I got your Mountain King. And Mountain King level 2 dying is pretty terrible here. It's gonna take a while to remake that. JohnnyCage is trying to hold on, but his Expo is under heavy siege here with a lot of Fiends now, +1 attack, +2 just started as well for them. And there's gonna be the threat of destroyers down the line as well.
XlorD again isn't going for the super late game Banshee tech, so if Johnny can hold on here, the late game might still belong to him. XlorD not able to find that quick win that he wanted. But he's certainly making things expensive for the opponent. Lots of peasants here. Could be the victim of a Nova. Lich close to 2. We know how important that is for the Frost Armor.
And JohnnyCage is reading the composition of XlorD really well as well, because he's getting Flame Machines. And we're seeing web being researched, so kind of means that XlorD would want to go into more destroyers.
Here we see the collapse, everything coming at the same time. The Impale, though, is glorious! Nova follow-up against the peasants could be absolutely deadly. Heal ward in the back, doing its best. Lich counting the seconds until he's level 2. There we go, now finally has it, and now Frost Armor, and that changes the ton. Oh my god, the next Impale, absolutely insane. Cryptlord has 1 more Impale in a bit, then he's gonna be dry for a while.
These knights falling rapidly, both staffs helping tremendously. One of those is down right now, but the other one is gonna save the Paladin. But that means that now they're down for a while. And XlorD is kiting towards the center, saving a lot of the Fiends here.
He's got full mana on the Lich, a bit of a mistake here by XlorD in the mana usage. Now finally using the Nova right clicks as well. MK falls again, and that might be the game. XlorD may have closed it out now finally with a huge army towering over the opponent. DK about to hit 4, the Lich about to hit 3 all of a sudden. Remember just a moment ago, he wasn't even level 2 yet. And he's got more Novas to use, didn't use too many spells before. There we go, Coil Nova next night falls. Johnny down to only 45 supply, living on a prayer.
XlorD all the confidence in the world now with the +2 attack. That move of pushing back the Archmage and going for the Mount tanking really made the game for him. He had to make something happen now, because I think when there is no Banshees, if JohnnyCage can make it close to 70 or 80 supply, he's gonna be favored in those fights with like a lot of Knights and stuff. But XlorD didn't let that happen. He had to make something happen, and that he did for sure in that fight.
Great performance by both players. The first game was the clearest one with errors for Johnny. Imagine if we had had another one epic there as well. XlorD now with a big lead, huge lead. Ferrying in some potions as well. Mana pot now on the DK. The Ghoul with backpack from the main, doing a good job. Lich about to hit level 3. That's another big level up.
And this is why often against this style you would see double Sanctum. Now he only went for 1 Sanctum and double Barracks. Like Knights are great against Fiends, but against Impale they're pretty bad. They just get impaled, they fall rapidly, then you follow up with Nova. Destroyers also kind of chew right through them. So Breakers, they can't get impaled, and they also drain mana from those undead heroes when you're actually targeting them.
Another nice impale coming through. I feel like the MK being so low level, that's one of the biggest problems. With level 2 Clap, this would be a different story, but he's still only level 2. Getting targeted once again, using the Holy Light. Impale coming in once again against the Palion, against the nice Paladin. Looking mighty frail. He's got the staff. He can't be staffed. AM actually had another one, but not quite fast enough. That nuke hits fast and hits hard. We're going for the MK next. There must be a staff this time. There is not. GG.